All right. A beautiful aloha morning to you all. It's Monday, and we're here for our Good of the Whole Global Heart Resonance Call, and excited to really be joining in this consciousness of love and wholeness, to bring that forth as Good of the Whole stewards, really stepping in and being in service to a greater whole. So really focusing on our inherent wholeness. And here we just open the pathway so people can really dive into this beautiful intentional field where we build coherence and build this resonance that is already an aspect of the field, but we get to bring our loving attention in, and therefore the field expands itself and returns that through nurturing each one of us in the most magnificent ways. So welcome everyone. And it's an exciting time. Some people aren't with us because there are graduations happening, everything from elementary school to kids going from high school, and then us as somebody was saying, I can't remember who name, maybe, that we're graduating too. We're always evolving into this fuller expression of ourselves. So today we are a community in resonance, and that's our focus, thanks to June Steiner, and hopefully she's going to make it on with us. So let's begin with taking a few moments and really letting go of any thoughts, any concerns, and just simply coming back to our breath, coming back to this really quintessential, crystalline light beings that we are. And as we're breathing in, we're opening all those cellular, sensory antennae to open to receive the gifts of the newness, the gifts of love as it's coming in, the gifts of information that we as resourceful beings, conduits of this love, we can elevate and really illuminate and expand our energy field. This is what happens here on this call, and we're just breathing that in, and we're connecting with the earth in gratitude for how she holds this field of love, this electromagnetic currency that as we're breathing in, as we put our feet on the earth, we feel electrically charged. It's just opening to that sensory perception of being charged here this morning, starting our week, starting our day. And it's the new moon. So let's open ourselves to that beautiful energy, this cosmos, the greater Akash, as we're really exemplifying these energies, these new moon energies. So holding your own heart, what is your intention? As a community in resonance, what does that feel like? What's your intention? And just taking a moment and releasing any personal obstructions to being fully immersed in this field of love. And just shining that light back to your own heart in regards to being valued, and gratitude for all the functioning organs that are part of this larger organism, and inviting them to fully be energized, serving what they do best for our bodies, for our health. And then just very gently coming down into that source field of silence. Feeling your body soften. Opening like a flower in the sunlight. Ready to receive the beautiful expressions of this call here this morning. Let's take a breath. And I see that June has joined us. All right. So with that, I'm going to pass the virtual talking stick to June, who's going to bring us into this call and open this pathway of a community in resonance. June, we're not hearing you. You're on mute. Let's see if she can. Can you unmute yourself? It looks like you're on your phone. You might have to do *6. I will try to oh, there, I unmuted you.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
All right. Whoops. Here we go. Anyway, my computer is not working this morning, so I am trying to see you all this way. This morning, we're talking about the nature of resonance in community. And when we talk about community, there's so many wonderful things that happen when we do come together and when we do bring with us the gifts that we carry to add to community. Here are some quotes from the Resonance Center from Social Evolution. When we gather in resonance, we are inviting people to fall in love differently. Just think about that for a moment, falling in love differently. What does that really mean? Falling in love is that place inside where we give all of who we are and we accept all of who we are. And so we each get to fall in love in a way that is so precious and so open and real. Another quote is, every relationship in resonance is an unknowable dance of unique souls. The journey to resonance requires patience, trust, and determination through the community. Whole people participate in whole communities in resonance with the whole creation, the whole of creation. Communities in resonance are filled with more potential and wonder than we can ever imagine. If we make connecting a priority in every community we inhabit, then resonance will emerge. Resonance cannot be summoned, only invited. And we invite resonance by holding ourselves open in mind, in body, and in spirit to the heavenly guests that we call. My incredible experience, besides this beautiful one that we're all connected to today and have been for the last many years, is with Angelus Arian. And we held that community, we held the energy in that community for almost 30 years. And what I learned during that 30 years is that every person in the circle, every person in the community holds the energy for everyone else, holds the energy for everything that happens there. And the beauty of that is that if one steps out and isn't holding the energy, everyone else feels it. Everything that's going on feels it. But if we all hold that energy, miracles can happen inside of that community. Healing can happen, learning can happen, discovery can happen. And so today, we're really looking to see what it is that we can learn from community, what we have learned from community. And because I don't have my own sheet because I couldn't get into it, Shelley, if you want to ask that last question for me, that would be wonderful. And I'm complete.
Thank you, June, so much. Let's just take a breath together and just take a moment for that pause. And June, I just want to say to you, you might find a place to just put your phone down and it'll be stable so you can keep holding it, because I know that can be a challenge. So yeah, so in this experience of community and resonance, in every relationship in resonance is an unknowable dance of unique souls. That's us. Today, let's allow the energy of abundance to flow as a community organism. How does this feel as a receiver, as this abundant nature of resonant flows? What are the qualities of resonance required in a community? What are you noticing? So with that, we just relax into the space, take a pause, and really listen for this voice of the field move through us. And we're going to track it together as a community. So blessings, everyone. Thank you, June. And we're just going to pass this virtual talking stick. And as you feel to come in, just from the center. Thank you. I'm complete. So just for one of our yummy resident stewards, just everyone's placed on mute as you come in. When you default, it's a default, so you have to take yourself on mute when you feel to share. So community in resonance, just that's open to feeling it.
Hi, everyone. This is Nancy Chaconis, and something just amazing happened. I think just this minute while we were in silence just was more like proof of what we're talking about. We're sitting there in silence and trying to clear my mind, but what came into my mind was missing Don Pett and thinking about him and wondering, how is he? We haven't seen him in a long time. I'm going to call him when this is over. And the next thing I know, Don Pett appears on the screen to join us. It was just a beautiful moment of resonance in action. I'm so happy to have just experienced that. Thank you.
I would like to follow that as we were dropping in and feeling the resonance. The thought was emerging was that I should forward the email of today to Eric, to you. And I was on the speaker when June was talking, and then I went to the gallery, and then all of a sudden, Eric is there. So they had the same experience. So I want to. All right. I would like to complete this conversation and just keep receiving. Something in the conversation that impacted me the most is to fall in love differently. I have had many challenges, especially with men, around the work that I have been doing. And actually, sometimes it happens with women, that to share and to give the light to the company, your company, the environment that you are in, sometimes is not received, most of the time actually, is not received as I am holding a space for that. It creates some challenges, but eventually, because I am is falling in love differently. This is whatever we call it, evolutionary love, divine love, or whatever we call it. It doesn't matter. It just is the love affair with the self, with the one that includes everyone. And so as a woman, I've had these challenges many times. I just wanted to share that, but eventually the truth prevails. It's like the light speaks itself very clearly. I am complete.
Good morning, everyone. A little bit late getting connected here. And I found myself both before anticipating this meeting and listening to Nahid and the woman who preceded her and the talk about community. And since I've only attended 2 or 3 times, a lot of this is brand new in the context for me of who you are and how you came together. And I'm wondering, has everyone here ever met in person? Is this a continuation of something else that started, like the September 22nd thing that Julie's putting on? Or are we, quote, brand new strangers across different continents? There's a desire in me for getting some background, I guess, some context. If anybody could fill me in, that would be great. I'm done.
So let's take a breath with that. Everyone, I just want to take a breath with that. I'll share more about that later, Eric, towards the end of our call. So let's just keep going with the experience, because it's all of it. It's all that we've met in person, we haven't met in person, we will meet in person, but it's the divine personality that we're inviting us to continue this flow with. But I will mention at the end some of those questions of love, and invite the pause, and let's keep continuing. Thank you.
I'll pick up the thread of falling in love differently as to talking about resonance and community. This is Julie, usually from Nebraska, but in New Jersey. Full experience yesterday. Speaking of graduations at the top of the hour, I attended a double graduation ceremony. I hope you can hear me okay, because I'm out on the streets. So yesterday I attended I'm going to do it this way, it might help. Just a second. I attended a double graduation ceremony yesterday, and it was a tight-knit community. It was a beautiful tight-knit community of a family that was Black. And I went with my daughter and son-in-law, and they were a part of this family very intimately. And it was family and friends. And there were maybe a handful of white people present. And I'm using those terms on purpose because in my world of good of the whole and feeling inclusive and looking beyond boundaries and belief systems. I've really tried to not see the world in color and see the world differently. And at one point, I got called into the dining room to have a conversation. They're like, "Hey, mama, girls, sit down." And they were talking about racial relations. And this community held resonance so beautifully. It was this incredible resonant day. It was just beautiful. And when I sat down at the table, and they were talking about literally, I missed out on the best of the conversation, I was told. But when I came in, one woman was given a white Santa Claus ornament. And she said, "Well, we don't have white Santa Claus. We do a black Santa Claus." She was given this by a white woman. And the white woman said to her, "Well, now you have a real Santa Claus. You can tell your kids." And so so the whole conversation pursued about um, resonant community and what happens with our differences. And the invitation was to say the word black and say the word white and say the word brown, but not a person of color. It was fascinating. I learned so much, but I'm going to come back to the resonant community piece. And I am journaling and recording because it was such a powerful conversation and I learned so much yesterday. But the piece that I wanted to bring up was that the beautiful, amazing, intelligent, educated, passionate, gorgeous, wise people that were sitting around this table. Well, I think I just can't say more about the state of our world. And I literally noticed myself really wanting to jump in with the evolution of consciousness and bring more hope and talk about all of us in community and all of us as a whole and resonant communities and all the good that was there. And what I noticed was without you can't jump into that conversation from the outside without really going to the root of the belief structures and an honoring experience of others. And so I just bring that to this conversation because it's such a perfect topic. When I read it last night coming home from this graduation, it was like, wow, how do we bring inclusive, resonant community to the world? How do we bring that's filled with hope and potential to people who don't feel it, who feel, one woman said, "I will never see what you're describing in my lifetime. I will never see this lifetime." And I was so stunned by that. I wanted to say, "Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yes, you will." Things that are happening around the planet. So just really fired up about sharing not only resonance and coherence and community building, but really teaching our children from a really young age, creating summer camps for the good of the whole and creating programs and curriculum that teach who we are and our true nature of reality, that we bring it into the place where people can experience hope and a future and see a brighter future and see the potential. So anyway, I left that conversation. I'll bring it short. Sorry, I'm getting long. I left it feeling more hope, but more focused on who we are as a resonant community and the power and the potential that we have as a resonant community to make a real and lasting difference in the world. And with that, I'll be complete. Thank you for for that beautiful thread of loving differently, and what does that really look like in the world. And with that, I'm complete.
And I would like to follow that thread. I'm feeling it so deeply as the resonance that was shared from the resonance that was just spoken to of black and white. Last night I was given this seed of God and shown the seed of life that has a rhythm that unfurls and unfolds as life. And that this rhythm is what is given as birth, as life is given birth to give birth. And I'm speaking in esoteric knowing. And this seed was to be given in this resonance communities. It it's a cross-pollinating that we learn from each other's resonance in a way that individual learning is not possible. It requires a higher organization, just as each cell in your being, in your body, has a way of being and an intelligence that comes together as an organ that allows it to move and function and freely give. And that it awakens to knowing, oh, we're all one organism. We're the world awakening. And at the moment, the resonant field, the community that Julie just experienced and brought to us, there was tears in my eyes of, oh, that is the future unfolding, where we all get along. We're earthlings of variety of color and shape, and oh, such beauty to behold. And that's what we bring the world. And before Barbara died, I asked her, how do we be the conduit for the future that you are from, that you speak to, that you know as evolution, unfurling and unfolding to that other side of the tipping point where we made it. Yeah, we're here. And the loving each other differently is loving each other as that one being. We all are the finger-like projections on earth. Ah. Beyond hope is faith in the future that is beauty unfolding as one heart. I am complete.
Morning, this is June again. I just wanted to speak a little more to what was just said, and that is that learning is exponential. It builds on itself. It's as if we're not a whole bunch of people trying to learn the same thing, but that as we learn it together, as we are in this special space of resonance, the learning takes place so much faster and deeper and grows on itself. And the beauty of that sentence, again, I'll go back to, is every relationship in resonance is an unknowable dance of unique souls. For me, the beauty, again, of a group, of a community, is that it's the differences that are the beauty, are the strength, are the openings to new learning. And so it's just so important that no matter how we feel, we need to share who we are. No matter whether we think that we don't know enough, or what we have to say isn't that important. That is actually the important, that piece that you maybe won't put out there, or the piece you're not sure is good enough or right enough. That is really what makes a resonant community, is the beauty of every individual, every difference, every piece of you that is needed in that community to make it whole. And I'm complete, and pass on this day.
On that note, I'll share a little something. This is Sharon in New Jersey. And I love this community and this resonant field and our calls. And I've been wanting to experience more local community. And so my husband and I have been going to a Unitarian Universalist church for on and off for the last year or so. And they have a different theme every month. And this month, the theme is community. And we went yesterday, and we've been thinking about this, and we've decided to join. And so it was very interesting, feeling into, because they have 7 principles of which we totally resonate with, and they're looking at an 8th right now around racial, more racial equality, like diversity, and really focusing on that, even though it's all threaded through all the 7 principles, but really coming to a point about that right now with an 8th principle. I think kind of what Julie was saying, we need to even be more overt, we need to be more specific. And it's a very diverse community otherwise, but not so much racially right now. Anyway, what was coming to me on the way home in terms of what's my contribution in this community was, because they'd said, they're going to get invited to boards and leadership committees and things like that. And I was thinking, I don't know, what I want to do. But I was thinking on the way home, one thing I would definitely want to do, if it's not already happening, is bring the experience of resonance when they go to have meetings. I've been in some, and they do a little something, but I think there's more that can be brought around direct healing and resonance, the experience of resonance. And I would love to do that. So I guess I will. So there's that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I have just finished reading a book that's really it was upsetting but deeply moving. And it's called The Women in the Castle. and I guess it's been a bestseller, and it is about the war and the whole Nazi experience, and it's about after the war. And the woman whose main character was in the resistance. And as a woman, the men did the action, and they tried to take Hitler down at one point, and it failed. So they all died, and she's left. And she's all through the aftermath of the war and all of that, and the experience of trying to help the women and the children that were associated with the resistance. So, but it's just fascinating in terms of what you think you know and what you don't know, and what she knew and what she didn't know, and the personality, but the intention, just so much, very deep, very deep. So that's all resonating in me, and in the spirit of what June just said, I'll bring it to this community. I'm complete.
This is Shelley, and I feel in this moment that the draw of the field and the sparkling, like the sparks of illumination. And that word came in this morning, and it's not a word that I use a lot, but it came in even in my meditation. And as I'm listening, the sense of the joy of illumination it's like that spark of the heart. And for me, it's really a call to really acknowledging, like it's like this movement of undulation, what was being said about rhythm, it's the rhythm that in this collective that we're tapping into, this rhythm that, that movement of water, that movement of awareness. The water holds the memory, the water holds the information. It's our waters receiving it. To me, in this light of community and resonance, because our waters are one, and we recognize each other as we're listening. We recognize the truth. I don't remember who said that, but the truth. We land in the truth when we're in this field of resonance. So it excites our cellular structure, right? It excites us. It bubbles up. And then also it allows for a deepening of presence. So for me, this community of resonance it happens because of presence. And I think when I was listening earlier, about that conversation about black and white and brown, and and that I remember that time when I always wanted to come in with my thing, my information to the group. And I feel what this experience here continues to teach is how to be present. That's resonance. That's the quality of that resonance brings, is this ability to sit back in the body. I think that's why we really speak to the pause here, to taking that pause. Because when we do, then we're present, and we can feel the energy of, or the motion, or the energy in motion of the field coming to the surface. And sometimes it's simply not saying a word, because we need to be receiving the information. And sometimes it's when the space opens. I mean, to me, that's the rhythm. Then we share, and that sharing is actually effectual. That it actually touches somebody else. In that room. And I can completely understand of being in an environment where maybe we're not so comfortable, or or all we know is what we've known in the past, and we have to let go. So for me, again, this other quality is this letting go, so that I can receive and move with the consciousness as it's. I mean, I think this is the answer to the Barbara Marx Hubbard question. It's like, so I can be present to the edge of evolution in the moment, be it in a theater or in a group or in the dentist. It doesn't really matter. But here we're just really, in this, evolving feeling of the field, Anyway, so yeah, so thank you, and let's just continue. It's so humbling. I'm complete.
Hi, everyone. It's Nancy again, California. Wow. This well, I don't really want to call it a challenge. I would just say it's more of an observation of how to be present in all my other worldly things, even if it's going to the market or getting together in a business meeting or whatever it happens to be. Taking what we have here in this like practice laboratory and bringing it into my real world. And I was just thinking, yeah, really it's just about being present. I was thinking that. And then I remembered when I was a kid, I went to a summer camp every summer from the time I was about 10 till high school. And it was about a month in the summer in Malibu, California. And it was a Jewish camp. And it was this. I'm looking at all of you now, and this is the feeling that I didn't have the words to put in it, that it was a resonant, experience. But I just remember as I was growing up after high school, I used to use camp as a barometer for if I'm in the right place, if I'm doing the right thing, it's going to feel like camp. That was my barometer. And maybe that's why when many of us came together years back, it was just one more of those, okay, this is the camp energy. I'm in the right place. And it's been exciting to explore it from this perspective that we've been doing many years on this call and all the times that we have gotten together. But I'm grateful that I had the experience of what it was like to feel a loving community, a resonant, loving, accepting, beautiful, spiritual community. And it's even more exciting to have this. And I know each one of us takes it out into our world. So I'm learning a lot from being here with you every week. And I'm grateful that I can say, okay, I'm going to get here every Monday morning because this is like camp. So this is good. So I'm just feeling lots of connection and love and resonance this morning with you. I'm complete.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see some friends that we've shared over so many years in the past. And it's nice to be back in such a nice warm environment, loving environment. I've been very busy, and so I haven't been absent from lack of interest. It's because I've been really very preoccupied with creating some new activities that I'm very happy to share with you. I think we finally understand Barbara's message and add meaning to it. I think what Barbara was telling us, the importance of evolution. Evolution is an accurate story of our history. We've had lots of stories in the past. We've had stories of magic and so on, the very first thoughts and multiple gods and so on, and gods that punish people and send them to hell forever. But Barbara gave us a more accurate story, and the important thing we've been missing is that when we have an accurate story of the past, we have a trajectory from the past to the present, and with that trajectory, we can project into the future to predict the future. So that's what makes us different from all other species. We have the ability to develop an accurate understanding. That was Barbara's message. And I remember Barbara saying one time that she was very good at communicating and getting people excited about the future, but she was afraid that people would ask her what to do. And she wasn't sure what to tell them. And I was interested, I hope, Oriana, when you come back and when you ask Barbara what we should do, you could give us her answer. What did she tell us to do? But the new news that I'd like to share with you is that I've been working with a group of people, a wonderful team, a professional speaker and actor who plays off-Broadway shows, the director of happiness for IBM, and a number of other people. And we've created a number of programs, and we've recently taken these programs to, we've had a discussion with the director of education for Zoom, the technology we're using today. And this is a marvelous technology because it brings people together. You know, what you've been doing is now bringing people together for a number of years. And what was said earlier in our meeting is one person can't change the world, but people working together and co-creating their genius, that's Barbara's words, of course, that we can make a real difference. So after some discussion with Zoom, they really liked our program. They said they would sponsor the educational community, and they awarded us 50 free licenses to their Zoom technology. Now, this may be of importance to you because if there's interest of people here starting groups where you're bringing people together, then we can make these licenses available. And what we've done in our program that Zoom liked is we've had recordings done that teach people unconditional love and Einstein's newer way of thinking, where people cooperate instead of compete for scarce resources. And that's the critical issue. You know, basically we are born with the instinct to compete with one another, especially male energy is born with muscles and making millions of sperm, and women are born with unconditional love. You know, you have the equipment to nurture infants and children to maturity. There's a difference between males and females, and these recordings really point out how we can teach unconditional love. And that's why I think Zoom was interested in us and said not only would they give us 50 websites, but if they like what we do, they'll even extend that and give us additional support. So here's a wonderful opportunity. And when I'm sharing this is because I think groups like this are really part of the answer. You know, we've said a number of times that we are the answer. It's, you know, we can get on our knees and pray and say, please do something for us. But I think the new news that Barbara was really telling us, the message was that we've been given as this marvelous thing between our ears, which people call a cerebral cortex, which only describes its anatomy, cerebral cortex. But we have this organ, which we better call a genie organ. You know what the genie does? It grants wishes. So if we can grant our wishes, and you know what our wishes are, we want a better world. So I think we have the answer now, and I just invite you, if you would come to www.peace.academy. That's our website. It's a new updated site. Everything is free and non-commercial. I've been busy writing 4 books, which are also free on that website. Anybody can get them. All the recordings are free. They are totally non-commercial. We guarantee no one will ever be asked for a penny. We're totally supported, privately supported financially. And everything on that site is public domain. So any of these recordings, if you want to use them to enhance any program, you're entitled to do that. So if you just listen to these 10 recordings, I think you'll really love them. 3 of them that teach unconditional love, and 7 that teach a new way of thinking where people cooperate instead of compete. So I'd say that individuals like Sherry, I think, you know, who were interested in their church and in their Universal Unitarian Church, if they wanted to start a group and be involved in something, they could even do it by Zoom. So there's marvelous opportunities here, and that's what I'd like to share and close. And I just one final comment that I can't help but make in terms of the thread that was mentioned. I really think that we have to crawl in love, not fall in love. Fall is gravity. You know, it's easy to become, what's the word? I guess it's infatuation. You know, we all have infatuation early in our life. We fall in love for the first time, infatuation, and that's falling in love. It's like gravity, it just happens to us. But crawling in love takes a lot of work and energy. So just like, as they said in South Pacific, you have to be taught hate, I think we can teach love as well, unconditional love. And I think women have it automatically and men don't. So I think that's one of the roles I put to the task of women more than men. And I'm concluding here, and thank you all for allowing me to come and visit you as I have today. And I see some smiling faces, happy faces. I'm complete. Thank you.
Ooh, just breathe with that. Thank you. Ah. So rich this field is. So this is the time on the call where, for those of us to who have spoken, to hold the banks of this river for other people who haven't had a chance yet to share. This has been a lot of energy moving on this call. And so very clearly, the intention right now is to just hold the banks, hold the field for those who have spoken, and allow those who haven't to have a chance. And again, speaking 1 to 2 minutes. We have a lot of people on this call this morning. So with that, and stay on the call if you're new, because we have a beautiful way to close, and I want to mention and refer to what Eric was asking in the beginning. So with that, I'm complete, and we open for those who haven't had a chance to share.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karen in Costa Rica. When I saw the topic today, I was very excited. As many of you know, I've been called to do many things. My assignment is creating a new paradigm of being. How do you do that? So over the years, many years, one way that I've been called is to create community, both physical, but I can see virtual as a possibility too. And so this topic I was very interested in because it's so important that to me that I can understand how to do this in the very best way. And so coming on today's call, I'm so grateful for the insights that people have brought that can help move things in a really good direction for creating communities, both physical and virtual. And so I'm very grateful for the call. Thank you, Shelley, for every week being here, and for all of you and your creating this amazing resonant field and the insights that come through from it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm complete.
You're unmuted, just so that you know. I think I muted you, so I don't share anything.
Wait, is this me? Let's see. Hi. I guess I'm popping on because it looked like my mic was open somehow. This is Deborah. Sorry, my device moves a lot. But I guess I feel right now that this community carries this resonance. And it's just like Shelley was speaking before in terms of water. My water sees your water, and we are connected and we are one. And I think that there is no way that we cannot carry this resonance out into the greater world, because it is so much a part of us. And my last little comment is just that I think our key to salvation is community, and it's going to be us creating the world in which we want to live with others, and that is the way. So thank you all. Once again, I am so grateful to be in this field with all of you, and just open my heart with extreme gratitude and blessings for everyone as we all journey forth together as one, as well as who we all are. Thank you.
This is Henry. in New Mexico. I got on late, but I appreciate the beautiful sharings that I have heard. I want to share a kind of a quote from one of the founders of the Fintorn community, David Spangler, who said that community is not something we create. It's something that we tap into. We can tap into, that it is pre-existent. So we are tapping into what is already innate in opening to it in presence. Also, just briefly, that we are opening to new ways of communicating, which include the presence, which include silence, which include beingness, which include the unconditional love that was expressed earlier of our true nature. And from a program that I attended recently, just the last piece, that expressed that our true nature is the group, is this connection, is this field. So with that, I am complete. Thank you.
This is Dina in Oregon. I'm hearing that each one of us is the resonant field. Each one of us is the frequency, the home frequency, or the camp frequency. It's that place of knowing our true essence and being there consciously. Each one of us is that resonance. And that's my message from the field today, is to show up in the moment, in that presence of knowing. We're creators, consciously creating our experience. And it is the way of manifesting the experience that is a vibrational match to our unconditional love. Very powerful, and of course together exponentially powerful. I'm complete.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. This is Rosemary from Costa Rica. I just wanted to tap in. It's been such a rich call, and I, like you, Eric, am fairly new. This is, I think, the third time I've shown up, and grateful to have done so. I will simply say that the question posed, what are the qualities of a resonant community, falls on the heels of the title, which is the nature of resonance in community. And the first word that hit me was nature, because that to me is truly my model for resonant community. The trees in the forest don't compete. They live in community. They share their roots. Some of them even pass on nutrients, from what I understand, to other trees that need it underneath the soil, as well as their branches reaching out to the connection from above. It's community. And as was said earlier, the community exists, and I make a conscious decision, a conscious choice to show up in community, because it is my essence, and it is what brings me in community with you to mirror each other. That's the value for me, because the nature of community is, and I, being my little note taker here, has the characteristics or the qualities of openness, of acceptance, of embracing the connection that exists. I have to embrace that. I don't have to compete with that. That's a choice. I embrace the connection. And last but not least, because these are in no special order, this is more of a spiral or a circle, is gratitude. The gratitude to have the opportunity to be with you, because I am you, as someone said as well. My waters and your waters run together. And that is, for me, so beautiful. Thank you. I'm complete. Buenos dias.
Just want to unmute 605. I'm not sure who that is. So 605, you're unmuted if you want to just get in and share this beautiful experience. Or maybe you need to unmute yourself. So we'll just take a minute in the pause, and then we'll...
Oh, I'm on the mute here. Yeah, maybe I'm audible now. This is Kate in South Dakota, and my tardiness has kept me off the Zoom call. The gardens have kept me in there, but the field that I'm in, I love y'all. Really appreciate this space that we create when we're together, and like everyone says, it's just this camp frequency that we're emanating always, and yay. Just appreciating you all.
Ooh, beautiful. So just something that I want to bring forward as we close, and is the word consciousness came towards the end of our call, and that is like a key piece, because it's conscious community that we're speaking to. The desire to be more conscious, the desire to, create a better world. So love you all for that. And in regards to the question that Eric was asking, and some of you that are new, we are working on a few new, I would say a month from now, we'll be working on some new videos, simple videos, so that you can have an understanding when you're coming in. And to come and consider being a mentoring steward. It's where we just ask a small amount of donation to monthly, just to help us keep this happening and to build this world of coherence and create these places where you can become more actively involved. And it's a co-mentoring community. So that happens on Wednesdays. And really that's the place where the conversations take place, and where we can really learn about each other individually. What is our passion, and how do we want to serve, and how can we serve the greater good of the whole as a community together, and how can you bring your gifts. So check out, and in fact, this Wednesday, yes, this Wednesday is our public call. So you can come on for free and experience what that call is about. Julie is the one that hosts that call, and we welcome you all. And anyone else that you feel is, would like to tap into this experience that you've all been describing. So come on Wednesday. And then also, if you want to experience this community in physical form, then we invite you to come in the end of September. And please come on. It is limited spaces. It's out at Julie's camp. It's a lake camp. So come and have the camp home frequency with us. It's a lot of fun. We share food. The expense is like ultra minimal, but we're really inviting you to come deeper into this resonant field, and something happens that doesn't happen when we're in physical communion, like a hug. Oh, many, many hugs, in fact. So it's fun. So, and also, if you have any questions about this community, of course, you can email me, Shelley at Good of the Whole, or Julie, and or any of the resident council members, and learn more about the evolution of this community. But come Wednesday, and we'll talk about it. So, with that, the invitation here is to everyone to unmute yourself, and we always spiral this frequency forward, ripple it out. You know, in fact, you can even focus, if you have a focal point, someone who's really needing this energy, please feel free to do that. So we always end with, and I'll unmute the people that I might have muted, and we'll end with a beautiful choir of yum. Yum.
Yum, 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 yum. Thank you, Hey, Julie. Forward information on Wednesday.